What's going on, everybody? It's Falchion with you once again. And once again, we are here with the tech guys, the dudes, the ones that can give you all the information. With me, as always, is a Geek Master. Tell them what's up, Geek, or say what's up to the people, Geek.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you feel welcome. Hope you find a home.
And back by popular demand, Plank, what you got to say to the folks?
Hello, people. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode. Happy to have you.
All right, so past two episodes, I, taking all the blame here, have been monopolizing the airtime, the topic time, and Geek hasn't been able to get in his 2 cents. So last week we said that we were going to give the show to Geek. This week we're definitely going to do that. Last week everybody said, bring Plank back. We got Plank back. J-Law, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the show. I'm glad you can make it.
Man, that's the dude.
I'm gonna try to get I'll try to at least get some recording of J-Law. He's gonna come visit me, so I'm gonna try to get some recording of him, and so everybody can meet J-Law. But we'll see what he allows me to do. If he doesn't, I'll like creep on him and like show him while he's sleeping. Nah, that's way out of line. I'm just messing. But you know what? I did have something. Geek told me not to throw it to him instantly, so I'm trying to delay while he sets things up. I can see him focusing really hard. I lost my This Week in Gaming History.
Andrea! Hi, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. Welcome to the show. Glad you could make it. As usual. There it is. So today in I think this is the first time he's seen it. Today in J-Law's Today in Gaming History, there was actually you know what? That's the wrong page. My bad.
We're off to an awesome start, guys.
Yeah, like it's so clumsy. I thought Geek was gonna be all on this and all happy about it, and he's like, "Yeah, just don't throw it to me early." But today in gaming history, 15 years ago on the PSP, Tekken, a Dark, what is it, Resurrection? I remember Plank and I spending many hours on Tekken. What about you, Geek? Did you ever play Tekken?
Sure did.
We did what? Tekken
my
1
brother's
and 2.
girlfriend used to whoop my butt.
But yeah, today in J-Law's gaming history, Tekken 15 years ago on the PSP. I know J-Law had a PSP. I remember that.
Jay, I didn't see that happen, but
I didn't see that either. That's pretty cool.
In my area, there's a local orchestra that does gaming music. That I'm really interested in checking out. They do Final Fantasy music and stuff like that. It's actually relatively cheap. I think it was like $50 for 2 tickets. So me and the missus might go out and watch them play Megalovania from Undertale or something like that,
That's cool.
Have some champagne and listen to Final Fantasy music.
That's cool.
And it's cool because it's like game music by candlelight. So like it's all set up pretty neat. Let's see. What else you got, man?
Actually, let's continue to talk the talk from last week about because I know like J-Law, I want to say it was sometime this past week, sent me a picture asking me about a router that he saw in his local store. And so why don't you continue that? I don't know if there are things that you feel like we didn't get to.
Well,
This week.
I mean, I know we kind of opened up with it and surprised everybody with it, like right off the bat, because we just spouted a fact and everybody's just like, "What? Wait, what?" You know. So, come around the fire, children. Let's tell you a story. You know, from long, long ago, back when telephones were attached to walls and there were cords involved. Okay. So back in the day, Ma Bell used to rent telephones to people who
And
didn't
they
own
OTP
telephones. Yeah, because telephones were a hot commodity and they were expensive to own. You couldn't just go to Best Buy and buy a phone. So there were people that didn't have the means to purchase a phone because again, it was an expensive thing. You could rent a phone from the phone department. I remember my mother rented a phone from the phone department. It was a green phone with wall and a rotary dial. It was hideous.
Wow.
Yeah. And she had it for years. And it wasn't really until like cable started becoming a thing that model started to disappear. Or that rental model, because she ended up buying her own phone by then. Yeah. So let's fast forward to now. Technology is the way that it is. Your cable company offers you a cable box and a modem / router with your services. Yeah, everybody gets this when they sign up. Well, smart people out there in the world, especially the people we're talking about, right to repair people who are awesome in their fight against the machine. Yeah. Said, well, I can buy this cable box online, right? For like $100. Why am I spending $10 a month to pay from it from you? And the cable company was like, well, because that's why. And the consumer's like, well, I don't have to, right? I can just buy the box and bring it in. And cable companies were like, I mean, theoretically, yeah, but no, you can't do that. So there was a big to-do in terms of the court systems and whatnot in order to get you to be able to bring your own cable box and your own cable modem to your services.
Right.
And I joke about it. I say, Rosa Parks didn't sit on the back of the bus so y'all can keep renting cable modems and cable boxes from the damn cable company. But, fast forward, to now, cable modems, routers, cable boxes, they're widely available everywhere. You can get them everywhere. People are smart about it. If you remember back in the satellite days or the DSS satellite days, people were buying those boxes with modded chips in them so they could get all the channels and things like that. Well, or you were buying back in the day, now pre-digital cable, you could buy a cable box that would descramble the scrambled channels.
Right.
So, and now I'm really going to talk about your age. You remember those movies that were on a certain channel that were all squiggly? You could hear it, but you couldn't see what was going on. I know all you dudes was like trying, just line it up once. Just get the vert right once. Well, they had a box out there that could do that. And, they shut that down when they started getting to the digital boxes and started fighting that. So now here we are again. Fast forward, you can buy your own cable box. You can buy your own modem. So there's zero reason why anybody in this current day and age should be renting a modem, a router, a cable box from the cable company, because it doesn't financially, it makes 0 sense. Yeah. You can buy a box for $100. You can buy a modem for $100. You know what I mean? Even at the cheapest, you can buy them at $100. Are just garbage. They're still better than what you're getting from your cable provider, because if you think about it, the box that they gave you was sitting in somebody's roach infested house for 5 years. You know what I mean? They just give it to you, and they've destroyed it and blah 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 blah. You know, not just that, but you don't know what's installed on it. To be honest, I don't trust any major corporation. What's up, Evan?
What is going on, Evan?
I don't trust any major corporation. So what's to stop them from throttling your internet or throttling your cable? You know, because they own that equipment. Yeah, so they can do whatever they want to it whenever they want to it. You know, there was back in the day when this first started. Now I will tell you, there was one that did end up backfiring. Is back in the day when it first started, that you were able to purchase your own routers and whatnot. These routers that are from the cable companies were all capped, so that you could only let so much speed come through. Mm-hmm. But people were uncapping these modems and getting pretty high speeds. But the cable company won that battle. Yeah, they won on that one. We can't be uncapping modems and just getting T1 connections through a standard.
Right.
You know.
Hey, Kimberly, welcome to the show. I'm glad to see you here tonight.
But yeah, you should definitely go out to the store, buy a router, buy a modem, get yourself your own cable box if you subscribe to that service. I personally don't. I have a Roku. I have a couple of Rokus. Or you can use your standard box. I mean, your standard video game systems these days. Most consoles can do that for you. I don't know if consoles can take coax. Do they nowadays? Do consoles? No. Maybe I'll say that may be something they could look into in the future. Be a TV tuner for you. You know, damn the man.
Kimberly, can you go in the room and slap Geek in the back of the head and tell him to stop taking a bomb in the house?
But yeah, you definitely shouldn't be renting equipment that is easily able to monitor your communications. Yeah, you might as well just say, "Hey, FBI, I'm over here."
Or just don't do things that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, everybody lives in a gray market, you know. I've done my fair share of torrenting. I remember Napster. You know,
wow, now that's
or giving your computer AIDS by downloading LimeWire. All your new talents out there, you know, those were, but you know, that was fledgling in our experience into the internet, you know, and shaping the internet into what it is today. But
right.
That's actually how I got my start in networking. Was I used to work for the hospital, New York Presbyterian Hospital and Columbia University. And it was my job to track down the students with Napster and LimeWire or any torrent at that time.
Any of the new talents and all that stuff.
Yes. And so, you know, I learned how to backtrace and how to see their MAC addresses. Because when we got those cease and desist letters from RIAA, I had to go and track down the students. And of course, you know, the students, I'm not doing that. I have your MAC address. And so the students who wanted to tell me that it wasn't them, then I would shut down their MAC addresses and I would cam them, which is throttling. I would throttle them so that they couldn't get anything.
Right.
And then they would come to the office and go, my computer is not working. I was like, yeah, I know, because I told you about the RIAA and you said it wasn't you.
Yeah.
So now you have to bring that machine to me and to remove whatever. And so then I got really good at tracking them down through hubs, through switches. That MAC address, I would break packets and look at it to see, you know, not physically, but that's how I could tell where was going what. I had source and destination addresses.
Right. See?
We at Borderless Gaming want to let you know that only Geek is associated with the man. The rest of us,
I will say that Geek is probably one of the only ones formally trained in this knowledge. I only deal with it on a hobbyist end, and have broken enough computers that I know how to fix them.
J-Law, I am currently one of those people.
Yeah, see, I mean, it sucks, but there has to be a balance. Yeah, there has to be a balance out there, and people ignore the balance, man. You can't just take everything from the RIAA, I got a cease and desist from my cable company for downloading the worst goddamn movie. It was the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton in it. Yeah. And I had gotten one of those bootlegs from the torrents, yeah. And it was a bad Russian cam copy where they're in Russia and they put the camera up in front of the screen and record it, and it just had horrible audio and all that stuff. And I got a cease and desist from Cox for downloading that torrent, and I was like, it wasn't even worth it. Don't worry, you won't hear from me again. Now, did I use torrents again later on? Yeah, but I didn't sit back and download. What I did was, instead of downloading stuff that just came out in the theater, I downloaded stuff that was like old, By then, like The Matrix was old. It's like I downloaded The Matrix. Like nobody's watching that, but big summer blockbusters, everybody's watching that, right?
right?
So there's a balance. You gotta play the balance, So what used to trip me out though. Now, Geek, maybe you can explain this because it still mind boggles me. This situation was the Fire Sticks back in the day, and I don't know if they're still a thing, but those things are nuts. And the fact that the cable providers and whatnot weren't on top of that is mind boggling to me, because you were getting a lot of stuff on those Fire Sticks. You're talking about pay-per-view stuff, live sports shows, all kinds of stuff was coming through those Fire Sticks. And it's not like they didn't know what was coming through the line. Just like you said, you could sniff the line, it was coming through the line. So they didn't do anything really to police that. And I remember seeing tons of those things on sale on Facebook and whatnot for $100. It was like a $20 Fire Stick with free software on it. But, we're going to charge you $100 because you don't know how to put it on yourself.
It's
like me.
It's big business now.
Yeah.
Using Coda, and like I haven't looked at it in a minute, but the last build of Coda was a beast. If it's still in effect, is a beast. There's a whole story to that. You think that they're not doing anything about it, and they're not. And it's planned obsolescence. Microsoft did this early on. There was a discussion that I was at Microsoft. And they were like, that all these people have these copies. And they was like, yeah. And they were like, people tend to frequent what they know. So we're letting everybody get to know Windows.
Yeah.
And then we're going to clamp down on it. Yeah. And then they did. And that's the same marketing strategy. Everybody's buying Fire Sticks. So remember, those channels, Kindle is good evening, Coach Flores. Remember, Kindle, the Fire Stick, Amazon is paying licensing fees.
Yeah.
For all of those channels. And because you're still buying, or if I create the Fire Stick, I still buy the Fire Sticks.
Yeah.
They're reaping all the money that they want.
Yeah, but they're not. Again, I think my argument is from the cable providers line, and let's say the RIAA, for instance. So, you're legitimately buying the Fire Stick, okay? And Amazon's getting paid for that, and Amazon's getting paid for the software that defaultly comes on the Fire Stick. Yeah. It's
Right.
when they install Kodi on it and all the add-ons that the device becomes something that obviously wasn't intended to be. And anything that you were purchasing on the Fire Stick that would have made Amazon money, they're not going to get, because they're getting it for free on Kodi, which is another ball of wax for me with Kodi, is that it's Xbox Media Center from the original Xbox. That's the operating system that Kodi is. So now Microsoft and Xbox is involved. You're taking our IP, creating a software off of our IP, wrapping it up or relabeling as something else, and then using that to do something illegal on the internet, or technically illegal. There we go. Technically illegal on the internet, you know?
Oh my goodness.
So as a cable provider, again, you're talking about congestion in the lines and things like that. Because it works on a peer-to-peer network, you would think that they would be like, I mean, because they're constant. The cable company's constant complaint is that bandwidth is an issue, which we all know is a fudging lie. That there's enough bandwidth out there, but they're always like, our bandwidth. Well, look at where your bandwidth is, you know, and you're not addressing it. I had a Fire Stick for years. I finally gave it up because it was just, you're just getting garbage copies of stuff. Yeah. Somebody just sitting a camcorder in front of a screen. And I was like, nah, I'm not. And I really don't watch TV like that. You know,
You're not subscribed to the right services.
Well,
not that I'm advocating.
No, not at all, but man.
My kid, you know, he finally took over the television, and I was like, you know, go watch some Yo Gabba Gabba, have a nice day, and see you later. So, you know, I gave up the Fire Stick, but it's still just kind of weird that that's been going on and is still going on, and the cable company is just low-key just letting it go by. I mean, if they were collecting evidence, they've had years to collect evidence to blow by through a lot of people, but I don't know. You know, maybe they just thought that it was too much. I mean, even with the Nutellants back in the day, it was hard to track down people with the Nutellants because of how it was shared, you know, and same thing with the torrents. It was how it was shared. There's just bits and pieces all over the place. But, I mean, that was the original argument. You know, technology obviously grew with it and things like that, and so they were able to find people. But now it should be that same technology to find people should be still there, you know?
There's a software that I have where I can see users of bandwidth, and I can set a threshold for when it alarms me.
Yeah.
So if you're downloading a movie and you're doing over X number of megabytes per second, I can make that thing light up for me like a Christmas tree.
And throttle out somebody.
So that I know who's doing what. Video games have a certain threshold. Movies have a different threshold. And I know how to filter, to find, and I can just look at simple port numbers. Every application has its own port number. So I can just see who's taking off of port number what to get data.
Sure.
And then I can track that down. Okay, whose MAC address is getting that?
Yeah.
So it's easier than you think for me to see, for the cable company to tell who's doing what.
But if you're talking about that, then the cable company hasn't done a major clampdown in a long time. You know, not to say that they haven't clamped down on anybody, but they haven't done a major public clampdown in a while. I know that a while ago back, somebody got busted for the birthday song or some stupidness like that. They downloaded, and that the RIAA charged them insane amounts of money. I actually looked back at this a while, probably about a month or two ago, about, you know, whatever happened to those people that got busted with Napster and whatnot. You know, they got
There were a
charged
lot of
30,000.
fines.
Yeah,
There were a lot of fines.
a
out
lot
there.
of those people never paid that money. They filed bankruptcy, never had to pay that money or what have you, or just showed the courts there was no way to pay that money, blah 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 blah. So, but I mean, it was shock and awe for everybody that was doing it, you know, that the RIA is not effing around. They are going to come after you kind of situation. Where in this situation, I remember talking about it and people are like, no, it's totally legit. And I'm like, no, it's not legit. Like at any junction in time, the cable company can say, we're done with your BS. We're coming for you. The Fire Sticks are not legit. They are not approved by any company out there. You know what I mean? And that the way that they're using them, you know, the hacked Fire Sticks. You know, the standard default Fire Stick is fine, but the hacked ones, that is not fair play. Technically, they can come after you at any junction in time and ruin your lives and your whatnot. Is no one using a VPN? I don't know. Do we have a sponsor? Can we talk about them? Because we can support that. NordVPN. If you use that on your Fire Stick, no, they'll find you. They will find you. And you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that about the VPN. I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I had a VPN, and let me tell you, Grand Theft Auto hackers could still see where I was sitting at. So, no, VPNs don't work the way that you think they work.
VPNs encrypt traffic on the end. So it only stops man-in-the-middle attacks.
Yeah.
So if I try to just jump on and see what traffic you're passing, it's encrypted. But if I catch it at either end, it has to give out the decryption code. So if I catch it and I sniff long enough, I'll always find out.
Yeah. What's up,
When your session initiates, it tells the other end, here's the decryption key. If I catch you on the ends where the traffic is initiated or where the designation, I can still catch it.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, for anybody that plays Grand Theft Auto on PC, the modders out there, they can see right through your VPN, 100 million %. They can see right through it. They know exactly which trunk you're attached to or pulling your internet through and where that trunk is. They don't get me right because the trunk is so far away from my apartment. It's actually in the neighboring town a little bit, but I sit kind of on a line. But they know, you know, they're well aware of who you use, where the address is, your IP address, all that jazz. So VPNs work only to an extent. And anybody that's in the military that's tried to use a VPN on base knows as well. They know that you've got a VPN. Cut that shit off.
All I'm going to say is, Evan, you and you guys might want to, Evan and Kimberly, you guys might want to start a bail fund, because I don't know that the stuff that Geek's doing is strictly legal.
Yeah, it's legal. You can monitor the network. You can monitor a network.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, make sure you guys have a little something set aside, because see that smile right there, that creep. I've been gaming with this dude for a minute.
I just
He's
pull
about
my
to
phone.
take the bomb into the house.
I can take this phone and go sit at McDonald's on their Wi-Fi and sniff their network all day long and see everything that's coming through that public Wi-Fi. As long as I'm not using it maliciously.
Why would you sniff it when
I'm just saying?
Because the easiest thing is me to go and spoof it.
Yeah.
I can tell your laptop that I'm the McDonald's Wi-Fi, and you'll talk directly to me and tell me everything I want to know.
None of this sounds legal.
It's not illegal.
That's not legal.
Well, I mean, what I was doing,
an IP is not legal.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is not illegal. I can look at stuff all day long. Yeah. I can look at the network all day long. As long as I'm not trying to like access your direct computer, then I'm okay. But you know, if I want to see what's going across the traffic line, yeah, because you know who else included in that data is me. So I should be able to monitor my own data going through that line. So
I'm doing my job, Evan. I'm doing my job. You know, Evan says he couldn't get away with anything and Evan, by the way, just so you know, I know about your secondary accounts right now. I just haven't said anything to you about it because you're an adult.
And you just blasted them on. Wow, dude, like that's what the show has become. On Front Street.
It's my job to know. And Evan somehow thinks, this guy, because I used to tell him, don't make other accounts. Here's your account, and don't make other accounts. And I didn't bother trying to get into their accounts. But then they would always try to make other names and think that I wouldn't know. And then, you know, one day we'd be sitting having dinner, and I go, so how was that information? And they go, what information? I was like, oh, so you mean you didn't have, and I would say the screen name for that secondary account and be like, you mean you didn't try to get that information on? And their face was priceless.
Really, the technology today has advanced so far that this type of monitoring and things like that is pretty easy to do. And the fact, and going back to our original conversation about cable boxes and routers and modems and whatnot, why would you rent something from a company that does not care about your best interest at all? Yeah.
True.
And just let them have the keys to your kingdom. And at least try, you know, like security. And then we're talking security aside, why continue paying for it? You know what I mean? Like, why would you pay for something that you'll never own? So just buy it and call it a day. You know, it makes more sense. I'm very against subscription models, but I understand that's the new future. And everybody's going to nickel and dime you in every way place possible. So, you know,
just like cloud computing.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's the new thing, right? And they're going to exhaust that, and then they're going to come back to centralized administration.
I think one of the things about the cloud computing is going back to the argument from the cable providers is that, oh, we don't have the bandwidth. You guys are causing congestion on our bandwidth. You're just eating up on the bandwidth. That's a lie. You know?
Watch the news. Biden is bringing back net neutrality.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's great. But what I'm saying is it's exposing the lie that the cable companies have been saying for years, is that we can't have affordable cable or we can't have affordable internet because our precious bandwidth. We just don't have enough. And that's not true. You know, there are major countries out there in the world that provide way better internet and at a cheaper rate than we do on our infrastructure, and we have a better infrastructure. You know what I mean?
Not true.
In some senses, we have a comparable infrastructure.
No, we don't.
So you're
right now, while you're at your computer,
yeah,
Google the average speed to the desktop in Korea.
But we're talking about, and I know what you're talking about. Okay, so Korea. Yes, you're absolutely right. But our infrastructure is pretty close. It's just
No,
a matter of
no, it's
them
not.
not giving it to us.
No, it's not.
So you're saying that equipment-wise, Korea just completely blows us out of the water in equipment?
Yes.
So
Do you know how much dark fiber there is that's unused? By the
mean,
time they finished laying dark fiber, then we went to black fiber.
well, hear me out.
Go ahead.
Again, and I'm talking about, we laid fiber in the 90s, 80s, 90s, 90s. We laid fiber through the US, yeah? And we had that fiber laying around for years and still don't use it for, really barely use it for the home user. Yeah.
Right.
The only people that really use it are the Verizon guys. Yeah. So, to say that the technology isn't available isn't true on the cable's end. It's available. You just don't want to give it to us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there are a lot of people who are still beyond the length from the CO.
Sure. My in-laws, they live so far out in the countryside that they can't even get 56K out there. You know,
Well,
so
there's still satellite. I mean, what about Starlink?
They have to do the line of sight satellites. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So they can do that, but still, I'm talking about just a standard ground plug and go. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But which is what you're talking about. There's people out there that are far enough away from the average, but we're talking about like inner cities now, inner city metros. All right, Kansas City in particular, wired for fiber because they run Google Fiber through the city, right?
Right.
In fact, Google, that was one of Google's test cities that they did over the air, free over the air for everybody.
Right.
The average home user still doesn't have fiber coming to their house. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's readily available in Kansas City. So we do have an infrastructure. We just don't use it because there's more money wrapped up in copper.
No, it's not. The money is not wrapped up in copper. The thing right now has always been about right of entry. That's what makes net neutrality so important. See, right. Verizon doesn't want to lay, and that's just Verizon because I'm in the city. Verizon doesn't want to lay all of these lines,
but they got to rent them from AT&T, yeah,
and then give that to everybody who wants to come. They're like, you didn't pay the cost for us to break ground, and right. Then it's unfair that you get to utilize our lines for transit,
right?
For data transit. Good evening, Lady A.
Lady A.
What's going on, Lady A?
So, with all of these, there's so many things we can do. Just like if you also Google municipal Wi-Fi, cities want to do it, but the government doesn't want the liability for it.
Right. And I get it because we have it here. Minneapolis has free Wi-Fi. St. Paul has free Wi-Fi. Most of the parks here have free Wi-Fi, which is pretty wild because there's a lot of freaking parks here have free Wi-Fi. But yeah, no, I understand the liability as well. It's, again, my argument is the cable has been like, oh, my precious, we just don't have just a smidgen to spare. And we know that not to be true,
right?
And cloud computing is a prime example of, we know that's a lie because cloud computing is now an industry standard. Well, not even cloud computing, but cloud servers are an industry standard now. Cloud storage is an industry standard. So you're moving a lot of data all the time. It's just not enough. It's just not data for you. It's data for us. It's for us. It's not for you, though. No, you can't have it.
It's that's kind of a that I understand what you're saying. That's kind of a simplistic view of it, because again, bandwidth is a finite resource, right? And fiber can only carry so much across a line. And so if it was free love, that would turn up the amount of necessary bandwidth exponentially.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but I'm in the weeds on this because that's where I work. And
yeah, no, and then on the same side of that coin, I mean, on the same side, on the other side of that coin, I will also say it is Americans as a whole, and I say Americans, people from the United States. We're gonna take out Canada and Mexico. I got to make sure that they're, even though they're North America, it is the United States as a whole that just has to gimme. That's the problem that was with Napster. That was a problem that was with the Nutellants. Is the problem with all file sharing in the United States is that we just got to gimme. We can't just sip from the well. We got to gulp from the well. So there's always going to be somebody who's taking up more than their share all the time, and then you end up with that problem. So it's also
I know Coach Flores is happy about that, because otherwise people would be asking him to write massive databases for his web backends. Yeah, that was just my way of getting Coach Flores in the mix.
Yeah, but that's job creation for him, But no, I get it. Like I said, I am very much on my stance in terms of cable companies, cable providers, information holders, or gatekeepers. I'm all about breaking through that wall. I'm all about quit holding us back. Let's do this. But I also understand liability. I get it. I understand it. I also understand, the greed. I get it. I understand.
It's capitalism. It's how do I get return on this investment?
Sure.
If I put up all of this infrastructure, what do I get out of it? And that's a big thing with Verizon, because they're like one of the major carriers, and leased lines are ridiculous. Who's in bed with who, and who's got right of entry to do, because you don't want every company breaking ground running fiber,
Right. I mean, because as I understand, Ma Bell still owns most of the lines out there, even though they've broken up Ma Bell's, she still owns everything. So, I get it. But again, at the same time, I'm also like, you guys are clutching your purse strings a bit too much and making a situation more grandiose than it has to be.
The liability, Lady A, is investment. So if you want to run fiber lines, right, they have to spend that money to break up the streets, to lay those lines. And so that comes at a cost. That's the liability it was.
You got about all kinds of stuff that's involved. I get it. It's just, again, we do have technology out there that we don't utilize fully.
I mean, to speak of it directly, I went through it exactly at Columbia. I worked on a project to lay all of that that fiber, right? And we were doing blue light, and we knew that on the day that it was completed, it would be outdated, because we knew black fiber was coming, but we just couldn't wait for it. We had to make a move.
Yeah.
And so nobody's going to re-rip that up and then put down black fiber, because right now we're doing, and that's why I brought up Korea, because right now, the big deal is gigabit to the desktop. What? Korea's, they got 10 meg switches.
Yeah, Korea.
And you're starting to hear them talk about that now, is putting 10 meg in the home.
Korea, Singapore, those guys are doing it big.
Right.
You know? but you also got to look at their society as a whole. You know, that's kind of a big situation. We're living in 2021. Singapore's living in 2050. You know, and technology.
We didn't even talk about Shanghai.
Yeah, and China. You know, I know you get into the Patriot argument, you know, how great is America and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're not even second place in a lot of places.
Oh, don't make me bring up my favorite movie clip.
I know what you're talking about from the newsroom.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes. I mean, I love the country that I live in. Yes,
I do.
I love the country that I live in and things like that. But, you know, we do have room to grow, and to sit back and say that we're the best of the best of the best is a bold-faced lie. We are not.
Right.
But that being said, I would not want to live any other place other than Singapore. Me and my wife have talked about this extensively. I was like, you know what? Singapore is looking a lot nicer all the time. I could live with a little bit of oppressive government if they just let me, you know, hang out over in Singapore and live that life.
But there, you know, just as far as the internet goes, there are a lot of places that are ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know, anybody who's tried to register a domain, you know, I thought that was amazing. You know, we started this and we had those 8, which went to 12, and I'm not sure what the count of major routers there are now. And then it got to the point where if you wanted to register a domain, they wouldn't even take US dollars. Yeah. You had to convert that to euros.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, it's almost that now with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's dropped a lot, but it's still, you know, I was at the grocery store the other day. I'm sure you guys have experienced it too. There's freaking Bitcoin exchanges inside the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, since when did this happen? You know, just go into the grocery store and set up a little kiosk and go to Bitcoin exchange.
And the government is really worried about that because, you know, the US dollar, it took me a while to find out that we were no longer backed by gold and silver, that it is now just a fiat currency, that it's only got the value that we say that it has, that the US says that we have.
Our currency is valued off of our population and how much work and labor we can get out of our population. But that's a government argument. I'm not. But no, we are absolutely not backed by gold and silver. Absolutely. But, you know, yeah. And, technology.
Right. Okay.
Politics. Out of politics. Technology.
All right. So I'm going to go back to what we came here for. You said
routers, right?
Excuse me?
We were talking routers, right? Or something like that? Or?
Well, actually, Falchion wanted something else, something that we didn't get time for last week.
I want you guys to do your thing. I'm not monopolizing this week.
Well, no, we're going to keep it moving because that's
here's the thing. If you have questions in the middle of this, you know, jump in, ask questions because you are our target audience, yeah, and the rest of these people on this chat are our target audience. If you guys have questions, throw them at us. You know, I don't know everything. Geek, he might not know everything.
I do not know everything. That's what I know is that I don't know everything.
So you know, ask some questions. If y'all got some facts on this stuff, throw it in there. This is the forum. You know. What do you got for us, Geek?
I'm going to that tab right now. This. Okay, so we really missed the ball last week on Elgato's announcement last Thursday of last week, Elgato came out with I believe it's 9
Yeah, it was
items that I then showed Falchion after the fact to tell him, dude, this is what I was trying to bring up, but I got caught up in the tech arguments. I'm all about that life. So, I don't even know which one we want to start with. They came out with two mic arms. I know Lady A would love one of these.
Yeah, so I was thinking like Lady A, Shadow. This might be right up your guys' alley. With all this new stuff that I mean, they dropped a lot. I'm surprised how much they dropped and what this stuff is doing.
So there's the wave arm, which is this one, right? Which is just a riser for those who like to come up and over their monitors. And then there's the LP, which is the low profile, which goes under your monitor if you have it on a decent stand or decent monitor arm. And then this can come under it, and it's low profile, and it articulates at this juncture so it can lift up and down. But as you see right there on the right side, it comes under the monitors.
Okay.
Shadowfire, Lady A, tell us what, if you saw the Elgato announcement, what was the item that most interested you? I don't know, Coach Flores, do you use any of those products in what you do?
I would say I have a couple of questions about some of the things here. What other stuff you got? The arms. What else came out?
The arm,
a mic. It looks like a capture card, maybe.
No, okay. So they have the Wave XLR, which makes every XLR mic a USB mic now.
Okay.
And it gives you, I don't know if you're familiar with the Wave software. Mm-hmm. It's a software that allows you to split all the different inputs from your computer. So what comes from your browser, what comes from your desktop audio, what comes from, you can separate those in the software.
So like a light mixer?
It's a, I don't know if we want to call it light, but yes.
A mixer.
It
looks like a digital mixer versus an analog mixer, right? So it's a software controls this, correct?
Correct. Okay. But with the software control, if you press the circle, mm-hmm. it can switch between the different things, okay. and you can adjust the volume, the level of those different items on the Wave XLR itself.
Okay. What else we got?
Okay, so go back to the top. That was audio. They came out with a new face cam with a glass element. So that helps even under load and in heated conditions, the glass doesn't bow or bend because of the heat. So you can keep a clear image, and it's also not compressed the way most other webcams compress the signal.
Okay. So it's okay.
Now, so you can stream longer.
Does this also have its own software that goes along with it, or is
it does?
Okay.
And the software allows you to treat this the way that you would treat a mirrorless or DSLR, because you can actually see a readout of the ISO that it's using, and you can adjust the ISO so it can give better low light performance. There's a video with Steggy and some of the other developers. And one of the developers is sitting in a room with no lights, just the light from his television. But because he was able to adjust the ISO, he was still able to get a very legible picture.
Okay. Let me ask you, and I don't know if you know or not on any of this new stuff that's out there. Do any of these have NDI support?
Say again?
NDI?
Oh, NDI?
Yeah.
No.
Or natively support NDI or have. These are all corded items, right? So,
correct.
Like, okay.
Correct. Now you can still import this into OBS
Sure,
and then do NDI to anything else.
Right.
Because OBS allows for you to have virtual cameras.
Yeah. So
and then you can send that out to any other software.
My biggest question for some of these things. Okay, so the arm, yeah, the mic arms. Like, what's that to differentiate me from, say, my $16 Amazon mic arm or this mic arm from Elgato? What would be the
benefits
the benefit? What's so great about this thing that I'm like, okay, I got to do this.
Okay,
this.
So weight.
Okay.
If you're using that Wave XLR, now you can get a more decent mic.
Sure.
And decent mics come with weight. These arms, one, are longer than your $16 mic arms, and they can handle a larger array of weights. So from your very light mics, where is it? If I go back to the weight to the arm,
well, I mean, then I guess the question would be how. So the new mic that just came out that they're talking about, you have a new mic, is that right? That just came out, or no?
No.
What's the weight on that Wave 3?
Yeah, aren't those new?
No, not so new. The waves have been out for almost a year now.
Well, I mean, what's the weight on those? Like right now, I have a Snowball. It's older model, but I don't want to say it's super heavy, but we're talking about. I mean, you are talking about weight on mics. Are their new devices heavy enough to necessitate having this arm?
Okay, so this piece right here is a weight, so that if you have a light mic, the spring doesn't keep lifting away. So you put this weight on it so that it will keep it down. It will essentially make it feel like this is a heavier device.
Right.
And I think this collar too, I believe they showed, like, I know that that's a weight. Now, see, this is a heavier mic.
Now, don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful. It looks, gorgeous.
Like my Yeti is an extremely heavy mic. And another thing, Plank, is you can hide the wires
inside of it. Yeah.
Okay.
The arm.
Oh, that's nice.
And I think it's the low profile one, right, is meant to, or it has the ability to be positioned in such a way that you can't see it on stream.
Sure.
So it's supposed to be able to dip under your camera and articulate so that you can hide it from being on your stream. Is that correct, Geek? That's the one, right? The lower profile one?
Well, both of them can now put your mic. It's up to you, because there are two camps. There are those people that buy these beautiful mics that they want seen on camera, so that you can have that. Like my mic now, if I wanted to, I could move it out of the frame, and it would go away. But I can turn the gain up in such a way I can still be heard. And for those people who have mics who like them in the shot, they can do that as well, because the low profile will lift the mic up, and so you can lift it up into the shot if that's what you want, or you can tuck it out of the shot.
I mean, it's a fair statement to say the streaming community is really building up the professional cameras and mic situations where the studio, like movie studios, used to really own. The streamers are now starting to step into that territory. It's starting to get a lot closer in that territory in terms of the technology and things like that. My big one, the one thing that's different with streamers versus, like, say, big movie studio productions or big television studio productions and things like that, was affordability and stepping in. And I think that the entry level coming into streaming is a lot cheaper than this and then movies and television. But with this technology, it looks like the line is getting blurred more and more and more, and what you're capable of doing. When I saw NDI for the first time, I was like, this is a killer. This is something completely new, and now here we are, stream decks and all that, blah, 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 blah. Stream decks are kind of a touchy one for me, only because of the OBS comes with the stream deck that you can use. Yeah. So you got that look on your face. I see it right now. So at the end, in OBS, if you have the OBS app on your phone, there's a QR code that you can scan in OBS, and it allows you to use your phone as a stream deck.
Right.
So, I mean, do I get a physical stream deck, or do I just use an Android device, a cheap Android device? Yeah. So.
Okay, but there are some things that you can't do.
Sure.
So you can access the OBS features, right? But there's a program called BitFocus Companion, which with my ATEM Mini, I'm allowed to do all kind of macros, multifunction actions with other devices. So that's the thing that the Stream Deck can't be matched on. And now I can have macros for OBS. So instead of just doing singular functions, I can do nested complex functions on the Stream Deck.
Like, even in our own technology in the show, StreamYard is lovely as it is. I think it's a great program. It has almost made OBS obsolete, in my opinion, just because of the way that it handles. But it's missing small things that OBS doesn't have, like NDI support being number one. Or does it have NDI support? I don't know if it still does, if it does or not. What else was it?
I haven't seen any NDI support for StreamYards.
But as to my original conversation, the studio quality products that are coming out, they're great. They're phenomenal. We're getting a lot of really cool stuff out there.
Look at what Blackmagic did with all of the ATEM Mini products. That product line really bastardized a lot of their higher end products. We're talking about exponentially. They brought down the price. That switcher, the Mini itself, just the Mini, that switcher being $300, when the cheapest thing in that genre was $1,500 just a couple of years ago, is huge.
I'm surprised the scalping community hasn't picked them up yet. is charging us $1,500 no matter what.
Actually, you're kind of right. I mean, the whole streaming biz, especially since the pandemic, has really blown up, and I'm surprised that the scalpers aren't just running roughshod over this new equipment from Elgato and trying to sell it, because I mean, geeks always telling me or talking to me about production value and upping it and everything, and like Shadow, like kind of like you said, you like your mic tucked away. I agree with you on that, and like so, like here, like for racing for me, right here is where my steering wheel goes, and I would like that low profile to be able to get underneath it, right, and closer to me, and still be out of the shot. It's on um with and I think that with the mic and the my wife is in a few minutes going to come down here and punch me in the face. So when you guys see that, don't laugh. She's like, she said today, how many headphones does one person need? But to be able to get that mic, if I can get this stupid thing on.
See, on headphones, I can hang with you here on this one. I do not buy gaming headphones. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I do. Yeah, do not buy gaming headphones. Razors are garbage. Corsairs are garbage. All of them are garbage. Just go buy some studio monitors. These are Audio Technicas. You can get these for relatively cheap, or if you really want to go out, get yourself a pair of Koss A4s. Those things, even though they look like they're from the 70s, they are the ish in terms of have headphones. All right. They crystal clear, cups your head, huge bass, huge sounds. If not that, who else? There's the AR4s that are really good studio monitors. And when I say studio monitors, I'm talking about the stuff that professionals in recording studios use in the booths. Yeah. You can get better quality out of those than you, and almost in certain cases, kind of a cheaper price than you would at a versus a gaming headset. Where's my quote? There we go. Gaming headset. Because I always argue this point with my wife as well when we had a kid. Like, what's the difference between a backpack and a baby bag? About $100. Yeah, it's the same thing with the gaming headphones and studio monitors. What's the difference between gaming headphones and headphones? About $100. Get yourself some nice studio headphones.
I just want to acknowledge that Lady A is an infidel. She has Astros and Turtle Beaches. You got to pick a side. And look, she needs to come back over to the Turtle Beach side. Stop being on the dark side with those Astros.
I mean, I like my Turtle Beaches, but the reason why my wife said that is because I just got these today, and they are studio monitors for DJing. And it came with as you remember last week, my mic went out, and so it came with this mic here, and I think it sounds good. At least sounds good to me.
It does. It is a good sounding mic.
Look, and I'm gonna put something up there in the chat. Those Amazon Kosses, those things are badass. I'm gonna say it right now. Those are badass in comparison to anything out there from Razer, Turtle Beach, all of them. And it'll dust them at $50.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I gotta check into that.
Dude, I was so saddened as a kid when I finally, like, they've been making, Koss has been making the same headphones since the 70s, 80s, yeah? And because they're just not broken. They're that great in terms of sound quality. when I was a kid, I had a pair, and the
Shadow.
they broke on the inside, and I lost them in a fire, and I was so sad. Like, you could have burned down my entire house if you'd have just left those headphones alone. They were so good. That's how good those headphones were to me. You know? Oh, here it is. It's the Cost 4As. The Cost 4 AA's, they're $75. Yeah, they don't have a mic, but you know, for us, like, I have a desktop mic. I never use a headset mic. The last one I had actually shocked my face, so I got rid of it.
Wow.
Ladies, bond on your own time. All right.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
So there are a number of products that they have. The camera, the mic arms, the new Stream Deck. The only thing they did was they put a removable USB, a detachable USB, and the faceplate. You know, for those people who like cosmetics. You know, shout out Lady A and Keisha, who who need their cosmetics. They can't just play Destiny. They gotta have the outfit right.
Yeah, the diva ears on the top. Lady A, there's a current coming through the mic no matter what, and I had one of the headsets where you could remove the mic off of it, you know, and I guess there was a short in there, so it shocked me. I'm sorry, Andrea. I'm so sorry, and I showed him that emulator last week. I'm sorry. Okay, I will stop. But in my opinion, if he buys these, he'll never need another. He could throw his other ones away. They're garbage.
Andrea, I keep in mind when I talk to him, I try to tell him, you don't need that. You don't need that.
Yes.
So that keeps him from coming in on bended knee to Andrea.
I'm sorry, Andrea. But yeah, I'm a proponent of studio monitors versus standard headphones, but that's just me.
Yeah.
See this big thing on my head.
I literally grew up in the studio with my dad, and he was a musician, and so as a teenager, everybody had a Sony Walkman, and I had to have my Iowa HSJ 500. That thing, just for sound quality, was amazing.
Yeah.
A song came on that I had listened to a million times on everything else. Played it through that, and the actual sounds that were supposed to be in the background, I literally turned around to look for where it was coming from. It was coming from my headset.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'll go way back. Raekwon's album came out from the Woo. He dropped that Ice Cream song with him and Method Man on it, and those Cost 4 AA's. Oh my God, the bass was killing them. Killing them, yo.
Yeah, lady. Andrea is my wife.
You couldn't tell me nothing, man. Woo was killing it in those headphones. I was so sad. My little sister burned down my room. It was crazy.
I'll tell you, man, I'm just starting stuff right now. These headphones from Microsoft, their latest iteration, man, these things have so much bass, and the fact that through their software you can adjust all the equalizers and everything. These are an amazing pair of headphones, and right now my wife is like, well, why didn't you just use those? And truth be told, it didn't even cross my mind. So
see, now you just put yourself in the doghouse.
But
I'm
gonna
even
do that to you.
I'm gonna save him. Is that the Xbox headsets are great, but they only work on the Xbox, so he can't use them on the PlayStation.
No, yes, you can.
I'm trying to save you. Shut up.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Dude, what are you doing?
Can you use these on the PlayStation? No, you can't. You can't use these on a PlayStation. You're right. But yeah,
Bro, if I'm selling the bridge and I got buyers, why would you mess up that sale?
I have no idea. Because later on, my wife figures out that I lied to her or something. Then I'm really
digging his own grave.
seriously.
Never try to save that guy.
I can't even say it's you, but that was all on me. What?
Well, I know you guys got like green. You guys have green screening going and whatnot. Like, so I need some lighting. What do you got for lighting?
Show him the key. I don't. Show him the key lights, geek. For
Okay.
oh god, like I
Like
want
right now, you see this shiny streak in my forehead. You know, from this overhead light above me. It just beams attention right here.
Well, you can turn the ISO down on that. And so right now I'm being lit by this ring light. And I'm able to adjust the color temperature.
Is that the Elgato one?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I have a ring light as well, but I didn't know if it was going to reflect off my glasses really crazy.
Okay, so the trick to that,
I mean,
yes, but the trick to that is height. So this stand that the ring light comes on, right? You can height adjust it. So you see how low it is here, but it's higher there. For those of you who wear glasses, if you heighten the ring light and angle it more down, you won't see it in your glasses unless you look up.
Right.
And that's a whole studio trick that you get.
I agree, Lady A. I have a ring light, but I don't have it from Elgato. I mean, the only time I use my ring light is when I'm recording my show. So, because you guys need to be able to see the food.
I mean, I have a ring light, but it's not the Elgato one. And the reason I want the Elgato, and I don't even know if I want the ring light from them, is what are they called? The key lights, right?
Okay. Yes.
The two flat panel lights for either side is because they are, and it's probably the same case with the ring light, but they are easily adjusted with the my Stream Deck, which is right here. It's actually attached to my racing wheel, so it's right here.
Right.
That's what I want it for.
Well, there's also an app for your phone where, because when Kimberly sits here and you can't get her to unask these seats, but I'll save that for another day. She has, I put the app on her phone, so she's able to adjust the brightness because she says this is too bright for her eyes. And so, because I have it connected to my Stream Deck as well, that I can just hit a button and get it to. Whoa! What just happened?
I don't know.
So I can turn it out and turn it on with a press of the button.
Right.
From that. Also, I have buttons set up so that I can adjust the color temperature. I'm adjusting it and you see it's changing.
Yeah. My man is chocolate brown now.
So that's about where I want it. And then that's separate from brightness, from intensity.
Sure.
So whatever color I choose.
And that's an Elgato though, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So for anybody who's interested, these are the features that come with, the Elgato light.
Right.
Is this a ring light or is this the flat light?
Now this one for me is the ring light.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to do this quickly, but I'm going to get the the Keylight Airs, which are smaller panels, which I can then use to flank the ring light on either side, because I want to get rid of some of these shadows. And the better lighting that you have on your green screen, the better you can deal with that.
Sure.
So
my green screen right here is just a piece of fabric I got from the fabric store that I hung up
right,
on my wall.
right, it doesn't have to be special.
Yeah, the green
Excuse me.
screen back there is an actual green screen, but
Cool.
actually, Lady A had a really ingenious green screen setup to where she was using the construction cardboard or project cardboard or whatever it's called that you can get from the dollar store.
Sure.
Um,
Like poster board?
yeah, poster board. Thank you.
Okay.
Poster board. I think it was Lady A. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember it being her. Back before she became all professional. What's going on, East Cali?
Callie, how's it going?
Very cool. Very cool.
So, and then the other thing that they announced, which was kind of silly, was just the light strips and extensions to them.
RGB light strips.
Yes.
I don't understand that. Like, especially for behind your TV. When I watch movies, I like for the room to be dark and so that I only see the television. Why do I want this ambiance light behind it? Like, could you imagine that being in the movie theater? Like, you're looking at the screen and there's these RGB lights glowing in the background of your movie theater. Like, is that a thing? Like, I don't. For me, it's not a thing. I like to be kind of in the focus.
That's because you've never done it,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So your TV on the wall, having the color output almost expands your viewing experience. So that when you go into the forest and then your wall is shadowing green, it adds something to it. And you can't think it, you'd have to see it, and you still may decide, yeah, it's not important to me. And I mean, that's, everybody has their right to their choice. But you know, for some people, that, especially like somebody like Falchion, who is always, when he's playing a game, he's trying to extend his immersion.
Yeah.
So I think he would perceive that more, just because that's the experience that he's looking for.
Maybe just put some blinders on him so he can't see anything past this point at all times.
Nope. VR. That's what I have VR for.
Yeah. See, like, you don't think that like extends that picture?
I think it will be a distraction, especially when you're talking about like the stuff over to the left, and that's because they have like all this extra lighting in this picture. And
right.
I think that would be kind of a distraction to me personally. Like, my cable modem is behind my television, and I had to turn it around because the blinking on it was driving me crazy. So, you know.
Right.
So you just don't like light.
Well, I have a short attention span, you know, and if something else is grabbing my attention, it will destroy the immersiveness, my immersion that I'm in, you know.
See, that's funny because I'm a tech guy at heart, right?
Yeah.
And please, Lord, don't let me trigger Kimberly, because Kimberly makes fun of me because she'll come in the room and I've got a video playing on the television. I've got Instagram going on my phone.
Yeah.
I've got a tablet playing, and I'm listening to all of it.
Because, like, on occasion, like, I have a Roku and it has the headphone jack inside the remote. I'll put the headphones on so I can listen to what's going on and whatnot, you know, versus somebody interrupting my show. Nothing drives me crazier than, you know, just being interrupted in the middle of my show.
The sad part is that my Bluetooth earpiece,
Yeah.
which I didn't bring out here. My Bluetooth earpiece will connect to my TV, right?
Right.
And so I could listen that way,
Yeah.
but then I would miss what's going on some Instagram that I've got going on, and what's going on a different YouTube video. So I'll have Marlin Gaming Nation playing on my TV. I'll be looking at my phone, listening to my tablet, and then if some information comes up that's pertinent to me, I'll pause all the other ones so that I can pay attention to just that.
See, that's for me again, is my immersion, mostly my immersion is the audio. Yeah. Like I've gotta be audio into it, and then everything else. Like I could probably deal with those lights if I had enclosed audio. You know what I mean? So nothing else was distracting me from it. That's why I like the headphones on the Roku's, because I can close it off and whatnot. I remember like back in the day when Stereo 5.1 first came out.
Okay.
Falchion got one. Yeah. I've seen the Forrest Gump movie 1.5 million times. Yeah. Prior to this event, we watched Forrest Gump, and the scene where he gets shot in the ass in Vietnam.
Right.
Because I've never experienced it in 5.1, the bullet traveled from the back of your head across the room. So when it happened, I thought somebody shot at the freaking house. And I was like, oh my God, what was that? You know? Because prior to that, the only way that we were experiencing, you know, movies was in stereo. It wasn't like in true surround, you know? So, you know, I like that in the surround sound world, you know?
Well, Falchion and I both have the same speaker setup right now.
Yeah.
And this one is about to go to 7.1.
And I think actually that's another part of my preference of gaming on PC versus preference of gaming with console. The television is so far away from me that I'm losing some of that immersion because of the gap because of the distance between the screen and where I sit at. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the audio. You know, if I'm wearing the headphones, it helps with the audio. But if I'm not wearing the headphones, I'm still not engaged as much as I would be where I'm on the PC. Where I'm on the PC, the screen is literally 3 feet away from my face. And I'm wearing headphones. You know, for anybody that plays shooters, you guys play shooters, you know, you got to hear everything. You got to hear that guy behind you, you know, that's coming. And if you can't hear that person, then, yeah, you know.
One of my first YouTube videos was me catching somebody because I was sound whoring.
Yeah. See, I remember back in the day, like they had the audio hacks where you could turn up like how loud people were walking around.
Their feet, footsteps.
Yeah. Yeah. You knew they were coming. But I guess that's my preference in terms of gaming, is I have to be kind of like right up on top of it, whereas people are sitting back kind of relaxed at a console environment and things like that. Ray talks to me all about it all the time. Falchion talks about it all the time. Like, hey, you know, consoles and blah, 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 blah. It's to sit. I'm just comfortable sitting right here. Like, would you use like the Stream Deck, you know? Would you be comfortable using it? Yeah, I think I'd be comfortable using it, but would it be as comfortable as sitting in front of my computer screen and using it versus would I be more comfortable sitting in front of my computer screen or using the Stream Deck? I think I would be more comfortable sitting in front of my computer screen than I would in my Stream Deck, just in terms of immersion. Although I like the idea of the Stream Deck. It's a pretty cool little idea.
I run my entire system on I have triples for my PC, but the middle monitor is also the monitor that runs my consoles. So it's here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Stream Deck is I think this is going to be an amazing thing. I think that yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. Like, you are hardcore PC, your system is really set up, and um and I don't think that, as far as and I know this is a quick, this has been a really harsh adjustment or topic change, but I think there are going to be people like me who just have to have everything, right?
Sure.
And then, like, I'm wondering, like, for someone like you, like your condo or whatever is set up to where you have a community game room, right? Um, Talking about games like pool and everything. I'm wondering if you just felt like being out, right? Being out of the house, out, would you just go down there and game on something like that? Or like Geek, while you're working and you're between jobs or whatever, would you just chill and play it in your car?
Absolutely. When I have scheduled pickups and I have to wait for a client, or when I'm at the airport and a flight is delayed, perfect time for me to get in, whatever.
And then, so I think there are going to be those people who can't afford
Yeah.
a high-end desktop or even a mid-tier desktop, and you can get this. You can get that machine and one of these little hubs right here. It's like $7, and turn that machine that are you turn your Steam Deck. I keep wanting to call it the Stream Deck. Turn the Steam Deck into.
Sorry for cutting you off. Enjoy your meal, Shadowfire.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But I'm hearing things, and we were actually talking about this earlier, playing that like big time YouTubers are saying that again, suspend common sense, right? Like not trying to call them out or anything, and it might seem like I am, but I'm honestly not. Rich of Review Tech was talking about how he felt like the SSD, playing games off of the SSD was gonna be an issue, or not the SSD. I'm sorry, the micro SD card. He was talking about how he felt like it was going to be an issue. Well, if they're making it that and they're promoting that, it's not going to be an issue, right? I mean, I'm not promoting something that I can't fulfill, right? And so, like, I guess one of the things I want to do this week is I want to get a micro SD card and plug it into my handheld and see how games play off of it, just to kind of have proof that it's not going to be an issue. I mean, is it going to be slower, like to load into games? Yeah, I believe so. But is it going to? What's up, Jules?
I'm in the show, bud.
Now you're in the show too. You might as well show your whole self now.
Hi.
And now you backed out.
He's like, I'm out.
No, I get where you're going. We did have this conversation off air when you weren't here, Geek. Like, I just think that guy is gatekeeping, is just hyping, just making controversy for no reason at all. The Switch runs on a micro SD card, and nobody's complained about the speeds. Nobody's complained about loading. It runs fine. People are playing AAA games on the Switch on a micro SD card, and it works fine.
Right.
You know, to make that argument is kind of way late in the game. And in fact, Switch games are not micro SD, but they're SD cards, you know, or I don't know what
True.
the technical term is for their that size, but I think they're SD cards. Either way it goes, the transfer rate is not a big issue. I mean, would it be a big issue in the future? I don't even think that, because the Steam Deck isn't a desktop PC, nor is it intended to be run as a desktop PC. It's like the Stream Deck. I mean, the Steam Deck could never be a high-end Pentium with a high-end video card with high-end RAM. Like, it's just by nature it won't be that way. So, you know, to make that kind of comparison is apples to oranges. So, you know, I think that guy's just talking out of his rear, to be honest. And I don't know him, but you know, if I go on his YouTube page, I should tell him all about himself. You're talking out of your rear, boy. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, Geek,
Took those dog tags.
Geek, am I right or wrong? And we're talking technology. The Switch runs on a micro SD card, and people have been gaming on that for years now, right?
Remember that on most computers, it used to be that not even used to be. Most people play on spinning physical drives.
Platter drives, yeah.
And SD cards or chips usually run faster than the seek times on a spinning media. So SD cards should almost be faster.
What's going on, Saint of Saints?
Yeah.
Than the spinning counterpart.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the guy's just talking out of his rear, just trying to make some conversation, trying to hype himself up like, oh my God, it's a big controversy. No, it's not. You don't either he A, doesn't know what he's talking about, or B, is just making hype. And I like to think he's intelligent enough to know the difference. So, in my opinion, it's hype.
I mean, he's definitely a big tech guy. I mean, I can't personally recommend watching him, just because he has some really.
Is this the guy you were raging about like a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
No, exactly.
He has that's a separate rage.
Okay.
And actually, the guy that he was raging about a week ago has taken the Richard Review Tech spot at the top of Falchions.
Oh.
I would just, if I saw him in the street, I would just punch him in the face.
Like, Rich.
Yo, it's just dog, man.
It's called Review Tech USA if you ever want to check it out. But I'm telling you, he kind of reveals some stuff about himself that you may not want to know.
Look, if we started every show up with a thumbnail of something semi-controversial, people are going to tune in just because they want to see the train wreck that's about to happen. And I like to think that we are a group of individuals who have more integrity than that. And, you know.
I mean, but Rich Review Tech or I can't think of his name, with the long hair on the radio. Now he's on satellite Sirius XM.
Talking about wait.
Today we're just kind of talking about gaming tech. We talked about modems, and we talked about some dark fiber, which I really don't understand, but okay. And then right now we're talking about the new Steam Deck that's coming out later this year. Valve Steam Deck, so that you can play handheld your Steam library.
It's just
The name I was trying to think of was Howard Stern.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
They're just hype machines. They're just hype machines, you know? That's all they do. They just make hype.
yeah.
They just make hype, and that drives numbers. If you make a train wreck, somebody's going to come watch it. And that's what they do. They make a train wreck, and now somebody's going to come look at it and go, "Oh my God." And then there's always somebody that like co-signs on the train wreck. Like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly going to happen." But they have no idea what they're talking about either. Like, don't get me raging on this guy. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, if I can get one this week, I'll get a micro SD card and pop it into my 1X player and
take the one out of your phone.
Why you got me taking stuff out my phone? It's got my phone stuff on it.
And that's another thing that verifies the point. Like, your cell phones are pretty freaking powerful. You know, they can play just about anything on your cell phone, and they run off of micro SD cards. The guy is just making hype. He's just talking out of his rear, or as they say in Virginia, talking out the side of your neck.
Thank you for that sub, Saint of Saints.
Saints, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Dude, big ups. Well, I would show you my dog for that, but he's over there sleeping. I don't want to wake him up. He's an old man. Yeah. Well, now I gotta get the dog up because you told him you subbed and like Zeus. He's not moving.
He's like, show him the cat.
Well, since this is alleged to be my show, I'm gonna rein this in. You know, because this guy is way over time, and I can't get him to even pay attention to me. Yeah. So, Falchion, where can the people find you?
Wait, we got a question from Saint of Saints that's a technical question. I don't know the answer.
PowerPoint a strong finger?
Oh, now we got to...
PowerPoint, is it a strong finger?
Oh.
Man, am I the only one that caught the joke? I'm sorry, Saint. I'm sorry.
No, I got it.
I had to throw it in for you. But yeah, I just feel bad now. It's like, yeah, wow, you can't even find me anywhere after that because I'm embarrassed.
All right. So, yeah, I guess this is the end of the show, yeah?
Well, we don't want to go without answering the question. So what kind of dog do you have?
Oh, English Bulldog. Hold on.
And Falchion, what dog do you have?
Come here, buddy.
I'm not supposed to say what kind of dog she is. Let me see if I can get her in here.
Come here, buddy. Come here. I know you don't want to come.
Andrew, is she with you? Can you send her to me?
Hey, guys. This is Zeus. He's my English Bulldog. He's an old man. He snores a lot. You might hear him in the show every now and again. He shows up on my show. He's got a knife. You can hear him in the background lapping up water, farting, snoring, eating food, generally just doing all the dog stuff. All right, Zeus, I'll let you back down. He's like, please put me down. Frenchies are awesome.
If we can get a picture of Lady A's dog, she has a beautiful dog as well. Her fur baby.
Yeah, Sasha's not coming. She must be with her.
Zeus is like, why did you wake me up? I'll see you treat later on, bro. I promise. It was for the
Callie says he has a French bulldog.
Oh, nice, Callie. Oh, good Lord.
You've done it now.
Yeah, right? Got her started. Lady A and her fur babies.
I almost thought I would...
Thanks a lot, Saints. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Thought I would do a Zeus stream one day. Just put a GoPro on him and see what he does.
A day in the life.
Yeah, a day in the life of just snoring all day and eating. That's it. He's a professional
Come here.
snorer.
Up.
He needs.
You know,
Yes,
that's what we haven't made is a Discord for the channel.
Hey.
We all have individual Discord.
Up.
Yeah,
Up.
might have to look at that.
Just like
Make that a situation.
she's
Make it a thing, right?
Yeah.
she took off. She's not hanging around, but she's a
She's mixed breed, isn't she?
yeah, she's a beagle, or she's a pit bull beagle mix.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like a brown version of the RCA dogs. Remember those?
Sure.
Those dogs. She looks like a mixture of those.
Because we do have a government sanctioned assassin, which was the clan that Falchion and I belonged to way back when, or we're still a part of. So that exists. But a Borderless Gaming Discord channel, we don't have.
Yeah, and I'm not good at running. See, Plank runs a Discord channel, and it's grown, and I'm not good at running Discord channel because I'm just not good at the whole. I know, right? Like, and now she's coming back, just kind of teasing. She's like, "I'm not being on camera." You know, the camera moves, right? But actually, so yeah, I guess that needs to be a discussion that we need to have. Like, what are we gonna do with as far as making it? Because I would love to just get a bunch of community things going, whether it be on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, uh, whatever, what have you. I think that'd be fun.
Now who's calling somebody out on camera, Lady A?
So we do this stream every Sunday night at 6:30 Eastern, and then Plank has a cooking show on the channel. There she goes, and well, now you can just see her rump. Plank has a cooking channel called a cooking show called He's Got a Knife that he airs, that he records and plays on the channel. And then every now and again you can find me. I'm trying to be more consistent about it, but I'm trying to find a game that people enjoy. Gaming, just gaming, yeah. Unfortunately, like most people aren't into racing games or flight sims, and those are really my mainstays. But I do play other things.
See, people, this is the argument that Falchion and I have all the time. He doesn't know how many people like racing games because he's not consistent enough for them to find him. Lady A's name on PlayStation is Sweets for Speed, if I'm saying that correctly, Lady A.
Sweets for Speed.
Woo. Yeah, but then she watches my channel and she's like, "God, this dude cannot drive. Oh my Lord." and it hurts my feelings. I have feelings. Oh goodness.
All right.
Game Pass,
wow.
Saints. Game Pass, because there's got to be something out there for you.
Do you have Steam?
I mean,
because there's a lot of games on Steam.
A lot.
Man, recent game that I got into on Steam, which doesn't utilize a $3,000 computer. What is the name of this game? It's a Metroidvania. It's called. Let me see what it's called. I forget the freaking name of it. And I also have it on Switch, which is crazy. that owned something on 2 different devices. Let me look it up on Switch.
Is it And I saw you some of them play. I saw you playing something recently. I can't remember what it was, but I thought it was an older game. And I guess I assumed it was an RTS.
I did play Fantasy Star Online 2. Wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
That's what it was. No, I'm not. I'm honestly not really bad at trying. I'm just teasing it, Lady A. I just don't know that that's the game. Like, Callie, I know you, Lady A, Geek, Shadow, Keisha, the Wonder Twins. I know you guys like games like Destiny or Outriders or even The Division. And then I know like a few of you have tried to play, and I excuse this term. I personally don't like it, but it's the one that gets used a lot. Falchion rules shooters, to where I, according to Geek, make games harder than are necessary, but Outlaws of the Old West.
See,
We play that point?
this dude is about to trigger me because
Outlaws of the Old West.
every time I talk to people about Falchion rules, they want to play, but Falchion doesn't want to call Falchion rules Falchion rules.
Let's ask the people. Lady A, be honest. Be 100% honest, please. Do you like what Geek calls Falchion rules? And they're not even my rules. It's just the way I play games. But do you like Falchion rule games? Or playing games?
Thank you, Lady A. Thank you.
Come on, Lady A. Really? You don't feel like it's That's awesome, Callie. Lady A done.
Let's see. What was the name of the game?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Formula One.
Well, we were playing Arc. That's a big one. An Arc Gen 2. Arc.
Yeah, if that's one right there, like
that'll definitely use $3,000 worth of computer.
If you decide you want to play Arc or whatever on PC, let us know. We have how many? We have a cluster of
5 servers, I think.
5 servers. So like any map you want to, not any map, of course, but there's a huge variety of maps that you can just flow between. Be happy to have you on the cluster and playing with us. Or even if you just wanted to get in there and just kind of be do things on your own or whatever, you could even do that. It's set up for PvE, so nobody can mess with you, nobody can mess with your stuff or what have you. So I play Among Us. My wife plays Among Us. Plank plays Among Us. I've never seen Geek play Among Us. And I actually have Fall Guys, but I haven't tried it yet. I've actually had it for a long time, and I want to play it, but I just keep finding myself busy with other things. But yeah, so I'm definitely interested in those. Lady A. The game was okay. So playing TJ introduced us to it's a cowboy game.
Yeah,
along the line.
I have it.
Yeah, we played it for a little while. Even Andrea has it. Yeah, it's a good game, and a lot of people don't like it because of the intensity on Formula One, is what we were talking about. Oh wow, you own 317. That's a good. So, how long have you been? Well, are you just strictly a PC player, or do you play consoles? Have you just recently moved from consoles to PC or something? Yeah, with the dinos. Lady A, did you upgrade your PC? Oh, that's the game you've been playing Ender Lilies.
Yeah, Ender Lilies was pretty good. I did enjoy it. It's
What?
nice little runny, jumpy.
I saw that somewhere.
It's been it's one of the Metroidvanias out right now that's kind of filling in the slot for Hollow Knight since Silk Song hasn't come out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you, Lady A. But it's. Have you been streaming from it lately? I know you stream PlayStation a lot more than anything. Cali moved from consoles to what? Is everybody making? Because I know Shadow just recently made that move. Keisha just recently made that move. Looks like everybody's moving from consoles to PC, and look at Plank smile over that one.
I'm laughing at Geek.
And if we could only get Falchion on the keyboard and mouse.
What do you need me on keyboard and mouse for? I mean, I feel I'm not bad with a controller on PC. A lot of content. You're a streamer, Saints? All right. Okay. There, you just put it in public. So your show. Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing. Close this out. Dang.
Where can we find Geek at? Raymond, where can we find Geek?
Oh, I got to tell you where you can. You can't tell you where you can find Geek. I got to tell you. All right, so Geek Master.
Clearly, you can find me on YouTube on Borderless Gaming since somebody doesn't want to end the show. So this is where I am. This is where I'll be, no matter what else I planned for my Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, so Geek is on the Xbox. He's GKMSTR space NYC on PlayStation, Twitch, Steam, and Discord. He's just GKMSTR, and on Uplay, he's Geek Master NYC, all spelled out. Saints, if you don't mind, can you link your channel in the chat? We'd like to promote whoever we can. And I'd love to watch your stuff, to be honest with you.
Lady A, could you put your channel in the stream as well?
And
East Cali. Yeah.
Everybody that streams, does videos, whatever. Come on, let's get in the channel. Let's build this community, right? Let's do it. Let us do it. Lady A does stream from her laptop.
She does.
Callie's doing both, but moving to that, I got to be honest with you. I'm the same. I find myself gravitating a little more towards the PC nowadays. Just it's becoming easier for me, I guess. It's always been a complaint of mine that it was more complicated than it needed to be, but it has definitely become. Oh, I don't feel bad, Lady A, because I'll drop Geeks in a heartbeat with a controller. Take the bomb in the house, Geek. Go ahead.
No, sir. Won't get me.
As for me,
Cool.
You can find me here with the boys on Sundays, I guess, on occasion. It's mostly them two, but, they invited me along for an extra. I'm in the back seat every now and again.
I don't know. I feel like
You also have me
what you
on
guys are
He's Got
doing.
a Knife, which is another show on this channel where I cook. And I was just telling Falchion earlier, I have a recipe right now that's going to be 3 weeks in the works. Like I just started it 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and I won't see the results for another 3 weeks. So something to be excited for you guys.
Well, I want to try that barbecue sauce
Nice.
recipe that you just did. It looked pretty good.
That
Right.
sauce was hot, boy. That was good. I really did enjoy
Well, I
it.
like spicy, so
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. So that's where you'll find me.
And then I am, well, right here on Borderless Gaming, of course, but also you can find me on the PlayStation, Steam, and Twitch on as Falchion757, and on the Xbox I am Falchion space GSA. And feel free to hit me up, friend me, whatever, and we can get into some games together. Whatever you want it to be. I should probably. Oh yeah, it is. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Oh, my bad. This is Geek Show. Geek gets to close it. Go ahead, Geek. Do your thing.
Good Geek, do your thing.
episode 25 is in the can.
It's in the can. East Cali just started some raids. And there we go. Lady A is PSN, Sweets for Speed, Xbox, Lady Assassin 65. Do you have a Twitch? Not a Twitch. Well, yeah, your Twitch, but Steam is what I actually meant to say.
That's supposed to be found at. I was trying to type fast.
Lady A streams are really good. I do enjoy them.
There you go.
I got to get her a copy of Vermintide.
Ooh. I think she might like that, actually.
That'd be right up. If she enjoys Destiny and the other ones, especially that other D&D game she played, she'll like Vermintide. So.
Did I miss it?
I don't know.
But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, chilling with us. For Plank and Geek, this is Falchion, and you know me. I'm Ghost. 2 fingers is peace. Later. Don't forget to put your information in the comments. We'll get it together. I'll hit you guys up and follow. Good time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.